Hi folks, so what we're going to be doing today guys is questions based on polygons and specifically octagons, okay? So these two questions we're going to be doing are from the World of Graphics textbook, page 82 and 83, as I said, based on an octagon. We're going to be doing this one first, question 1, and then this one over here, which is question 3. So it just says, question 1, it says, a logo for a digital media company is shown below. It is based on a regular octagon. Reproduce the logo to the given dimensions. So just looking here, we can see our octagon shape, okay, and 8 sides for an octagon. We can see that one of the sides is 63 millimeters long, therefore all the sides are actually 63 millimeters long. And for an octagon, we know that our exterior angle, this line going up here, is going to be at 45 degrees. 360 divided by the number of sides, 8, equals 45. And then we can see that it's actually broken up into 21, 21, 21. So it's kind of split into 3 equal parts there. All of these lines here that are running up in this direction are also going at an angle of 45 degrees. Likewise with the ones going in this direction, and we can see here that they'll be also split 21, 21, 21. Okay? So I'll start with that question first, and then we'll come back and explain this one here. So we'll start with this one here with the side length of 63. And that is the logo that we're reproducing there. Okay, so we'll start with that. So starting off, I have the two questions kind of set up here. We're starting with this one here first. It's the 63 side one. So I've already my baseline done. So what I'm going to do now is, using my 45 degree set square, I am going to project up at an angle of 45 degrees to the right, likewise to the left. And having done that, I will then measure 63 millimeters. I can either measure it with my set square or take the distance on my compass. I'm going to mark the distance off of my compass, this side and this side. They should be equal. Having done that, I will now project up vertical. Okay, once again, take my distance, I don't need to actually technically mark it there again, because once I have it done once, you can see that they'd actually match up. Okay. And finally, the last part, we're on to the top portion of it now. Project in at 45 degrees going in here and here. And to save me a bit of time, instead of marking 63 again, the top one should be in line with this point down here. So just make a little mark directly above that one. Where it hits there, I can project the line across. And there is our octagon. Okay, so first things first, I will start splitting up my side lengths here, because I know these sides are split into 3 portions of 21. So 21 plus 21 will be 42, with 21 left over. So all of those there are going to project up at an angle of 45 degrees. It should match up. So I'm using a red pen here for my construction lines, which you would do lightly with a pencil. And everything seems to be working out neat and tidy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 21, 21 and so on again here on this side. 21 plus 21 will be 42, which leaves me 21 left over. And same thing here. Project up at 45 degrees. And there we actually have it. That is the question almost completed there. Everything is actually in there ready to go. It's just a case of having in the right information. So I'm going to speed up the video there now while I do that. Okay. Okay, as you can see there, we have now completed the first question, or the first problem on that page, with the side length of 63. Splitting it up, going off at an angle of 45 degrees, okay, to complete our octagon. All the sides are 63, and then splitting up this side here, 21, 21, 21, projecting up at an angle of 45 degrees, okay. Likewise with this side, I measured 21, 21, 21, and then projecting up at 45 degrees the other way. And it was just a case then of following the pattern. Now you could add a little bit of colour obviously to enhance your design here. But what we are going to move on to now is the next question, which is on page 83, which is for this one here. So I'll just bring that back up now. So on the question on page 83, it says, I'll zoom in there a little bit. The old window shown below is based on a regular octagon. Draw the window to the dimensions given. So you can see here we have an octagon which has a side length of 60, and then we actually have a smaller octagon inside it as well. It doesn't tell us what size it is. Oh, sorry, I see over here. It tells us that it's in 8 as well. So we're going to have to work out a little bit there to help us out on that. And then obviously kind of we have this little pattern on the inside. We can see there that it's 8 mil. So obviously I'd imagine if that is from here to here is 8, then likewise here to here. And we can see 8 millimeters stepping in. Okay, but starting off, before we get on to kind of this design in the middle for the window, we're just going to focus on the octagon on the outside and then the octagon on the inside. A little bit on that. You can see here what they've done is, with these green lines here, they've actually joined the diagonals to the opposite sides. This one connected to this one here, likewise with this one to here, and this one to here. Every one of them goes through the center of the octagon. Okay, and the reason we're actually going to use those is because they're going to help us determine the inside octagon, which is in a distance of 8 millimeters. So they're going to be very, very helpful to us in a second. Okay, so we'll start with that there now. So once again, just zoom out there. So this time we have an octagon which has a side length of 60 millimeters. So once again, using my set square, project up at an angle of 45 degrees. So this one will just be a tiny touch smaller than the last one. 45 degrees. I'm going to take my compass once again and measure it this way. So taking 60 on my compass, which I've already done. Mark it off. You can see I can step it out there and there. And having done that, now project up vertical. Likewise, once again, using your compass, get 60 on the compass again, mark that up here and here, and at those 2 points then, project up at 45 degrees. Okay. Time saving technique, come down to the bottom, should match up in line with it, so I'm just going to guide that from the bottom point up here to the top, make a little mark there. Where that mark is, I can then project a line across. Now what I know about this one this time is that the outside is entirely heavy, but before I do that, what I am going to do is I'm going to connect the opposing corners. So this corner here is going to connect to the opposite side over here. So I'll just do this quickly. And if I'm accurate, every one of them should meet in our center. Okay, what we're actually doing there is by joining the opposite corners, we're actually bisecting our interior angle. I'm happy with that. And finally, yeah, quite happy with that. Every one of them, quite happy. They all met in the middle there. So what I'm going to do now is, if you remember on my explanation, it said that we had to measure in 8 millimeters. So I'm going to measure in 8 millimeters from this side. There's 8 there from the 0. Okay. And what I'll do then is, by constructing my first line here on the outside, okay, that has actually helped me determine this point here and this point here, which is where the edges are. So now with these points in, I can just project down parallel to all the sides. So this one's at 45 degrees, where that one hits there. It's going to go 45, or sorry, straight across that way. This one is going to go up at 45 degrees. And likewise, it's going to then go across. Project down at 45 degrees. Because the gap should always be 8 then, and hopefully, depending on my axes, I was drawing them around. It's after going a little bit off. Not too bad. Okay, probably about half a mil out there. Okay, on that side. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to heavy that in, so I'll just speed up the video there. Okay, so there we have the outside of the window design done. Now what we have to do is we have to complete the inside part. So just to complete that, what I'm going to do is, from these points in here, it said I have to measure in a distance. So from this point right here, I have to measure in a distance of 8 millimeters. So measuring 8 there. I'm also going to measure back 8, so I put it on the 8 and measure back to 0. And at both of those, I'm going to project upwards. Like this, and like this, and then finally like this and this. You can see they're matching up, so my accuracy is quite good today. And likewise, at this point right here, I'm going to measure up a distance of 8. So mark that 8 there. And then at this point up here, I'm going to put the 8 on it. At this point right here, sorry, right there, I'm going to mark 8 and put it down. So that mark right there. I'm going to project both these across. And at this point now, it is simply a case of heavying in the correct details. So let's quickly once again speed up the video. And there we have it, folks. That there is the second question completed on that page. That there is the window design from page 83 of the World Graphics textbook. So both questions done there, guys. Hope you found them helpful. Just a little bit on octagons and kind of the little kind of bits that you can actually find are quite helpful, especially on this one here. By joining the diagonals, it helped us find the middle of the octagon. That can be very useful in some questions. So once again, guys, hope you found it helpful. That's the video complete.